Can I escape from the Omega Ruins without the Sphere Grid? Let's find out. What's up everyone? Welcome to what is going to be a very interesting Final Fantasy X No Sphere Grid mini challenge. Across 5 episodes we will be transported to the Omega Ruins dungeon, which during a normal playthrough is an optional area you'd only have access towards the end of the game. The main part of this challenge will be to see if I can reach and defeat one of the hidden super bosses within the Omega Ruins, Ultima Weapon, then return back, all without using the Sphere Grid and only having access to items and equipment at around halfway point of the game. Now within the Omega Ruins there's only one save sphere, which is at the very beginning of the dungeon, and as part of this challenge it isn't working, not until Ultima Weapon is defeated. If and when we do so, and I can return to the save sphere, this is how the party plan to escape from Omega Ruins. So to set the scene and to link the challenge to the story, after those epic wedding cutscenes in Bevelle, Yuna escapes from Seymour and the rest of the gang are forced to flee to the Temple of the Faith to reunite with each other. Now whilst they manage to do so, Maester Keenock is able to locate and capture them. Now within a usual playthrough of Final Fantasy X, the gang are put on trial and sentenced to the not so difficult Via Purifico. And even in a No Sphere Grid playthrough is an easy section of the game, but in this version of the story, the gang will be exiled to the Omega Ruins. There lies the challenge ahead. So, can I escape from the Omega Ruins without the Sphere Grid? Let's find out.
What is this place?
700 years ago, a monk who defied the teachings was sentenced here.
Oh, the traitor Omega, yeah?
Omega's loathing of Yevon has turned him into a fiend.
They say he liked it underground, out of the light.
So, he's here?
Scared?
Not a chance.
Before we kick things off, I'm going to explain the rules of the challenge. The party and equipment setup, as well as the overdrive mode details, will be in the description box below, so please check that out and ask any questions you've got in the comments. So the challenge is using a save I've modded using the FFX editor. I'll be using the equipment gathered from that point of the game and will only have access to the items available up until the Via Purifico. Now, since I didn't know how difficult this challenge was going to be, I've upped the count of critical items like sleeping powders, shadow gems and smoke bombs, which are all easily obtainable from Beaconel right before the Bevelle and Via Purifico sections of the game. As for the rest of the items, they were already on my save, which was taken from part 11B of the ongoing No Sphere Grid guide on the channel. Now just to finish off with a few more rules of the challenge, I'll attempt to use Aeons as sparingly as possible, as even at this point of the game they're still really good and have that auto ribbon ability as standard. Also, if I gain access to a return sphere, I won't be using it, as having more than one character with first strike will make things a bit too easy in my eyes. And finally, if I die, I'll need to start over. I really hope you enjoyed this mini playthrough as much as I did. It was an absolute blast to put together. So if you enjoyed this episode, consider dropping a like and subscribing so you never miss a future part of the challenge. Right, first things first, let's get that ×2 on. And hopefully we get a decent first encounter. Oh, this is perfect. What we're going to be using this one for is to set up the front 3 in Riku in SOS Null Blaze. That's going to help with the Puroboros fight. In fact, what we'll do is we'll put the Zorus to sleep, just so we can get the team set up here. Now, the easiest way to do that is to bring in Lulu and start casting fire on the party, and that drops everyone into SOS health. Riku, we're going to get some steals in while this is going on. Wakara, I do think, needs an attack and a fire in order for him to get into SOS. Yep, that's perfect. And what we'll do is we'll bring in Tidus again, because when he does get attacked now, he'll end the battle in critical health, which is perfect. And I don't think that's an issue. Riku obviously has got evade and counter, so she's going to avoid things. I'm just thinking, is there any other one I need to worry about here? No, I don't think so. So TARDIS is just going to defend. Oh, nice rare steal there. Right, that's perfect. And we're already at +7 petrify grenades. Well, +6 now. So that's the perfect start. We've got people in SOS. We've got some good petrify grenades already. And yeah, the team's set up now. Just got to make sure everyone's on point. Doesn't really matter if Kimahri gets into 1 HP either, I don't think. Right, let's keep going. Oh, I'm going to sort my equipment and items here because I'll be going to sleeping powders a lot, and I'll be going to petrify grenades a lot, and I'll be going to shadow gems a lot as well. And then I think what we'll have is smoke bombs. And then when we get some fire gems, we'll put them in place of these powered distillers. That's fine. Oh, perfect start this is. We even got a preemptive, which is great. Now, what I will do is use one of our chocobo feathers on Riku here. That'll enable us to get some quick, easy steals. Now, this is the perfect battle to show why SOS Null Blaze is essential, basically. Because it just keeps the party safe. Riku can just steal till her heart's content, and the boys can just tank along with Riku. And we even get a double round in there, so we're already up to like over 10 already, and that's the power of this battle. We're just going to get that abundance of fire gems, which are going to come in handy with equipment, Aeons potentially as well, and of course damage dealing. So we're just cycling through. We can't die because the only attacks that these enemies have got is fire based, and of course because we're all protected against fire, we're in a position where we can't die. The other thing you can do is inflict slow on these enemies, but once we've done enough steals, we'll just take them out with a petrify grenade, because although they have a resistance of 120 to petrification, what that means is you need something that has an infinite percentage or above 120 to at least get a chance of taking them out via petrification. You can see that chocobo feather coming in clutch there. Loads of fire gems already. We'll probably go through one more round and then we'll take them out, because we'll just double check how many we've got. Already 24, which is absolutely phenomenal. I doubt we'll get any more. No. So we'll use up the next round. Any spare turns we get with Riku? No, I don't think we do, so petrify grenade, and done. Perfect. Great start. Everyone's in SOS. We've got some fire gems. We've got some petrify grenades. We're doing well. Now, of course, in a regular playthrough, this enemy is one of the most annoying. But equally, in this challenge, the Zorus becomes probably the most important enemy in this playthrough for a number of reasons. Petrify grenades obviously take out a lot of enemies around here in one go. Petrify grenades can also help customize Stone Strike and Stone Proof, which is going to be essential. Can't remember if you've got 2 or 3 steals here, so we'll just try and get a third in. But with that ×2, these battles don't take that long, which is no problem. I think a couple of steals already, that's fine. We'll be encountering the Zorus a lot in this challenge, so we don't need to worry about that. So always best to get Riku back into the back line. Any items that we pick up by the chests and by the battles are free to use where possible, or I mean something like that though isn't really going to be useful in this area nonetheless. Turn over as a weapon for Whacker. Yeah, I mean that's okay. Could come in handy against Ultima Weapon. Now, the Wraith. I mean, we can get Doom for Kamari, so that's good. The fact that it's got times 1.5 to water is not bad. I'd prefer it to have times 1.5 to fire, because we've got that abundance of fire gems already. It's pretty much... It is pretty much immune to everything we have at the moment. So the easiest thing to do is to use some shadow gems and to just defend with the boys. I mean, ideally I want to bring Tidus in, because if one of these gets KO'd, Whacker and Tidus have good agility to recover. In all fairness though, with the shadow gems, we'll be making light work of this, and it always starts the battle with Doom, which is basically a free turn for us. Now, because it's 1.5 times to water, we can I'll save the water gems for now. We can use stuff like fish scales, you know, which do nearly 1,000. I mean, that was lucky that it used Firaga there. So, in fact, we will use a water gem now, because it will take it out straight away. Ah, I bet it's at like 10 health or something here. No. Okay, nonetheless, fish scale to the win. Perfect. It's also a shame we don't have a water-based Aeon. Never mind. Always got to reset the party. I mean, 2 of these battles already is just phenomenal luck, if I'm honest. We probably need about 50 round here. I won't use a Chocobo Feather again. I'm not entirely bothered about bringing Tidus in. Now, let me just see how many silver hourglasses I've got, because you can have them at this point in the game. They are a rare drop from one of the lizards on the Thunder Plains. I just haven't given myself one for this challenge. We'll do a couple of rounds and then we'll move on, because the road to get that teleport sphere, although it's not long, it could be challenging. We don't know how many spirits or great Malboras we're going to fight, so we just need to get to that other teleport sphere really, because that will come in massively useful against Ultima Weapon. It does become a bit tedious as well, this battle, when you don't have Chocobo Feathers in use. but them steals are just racking up already. Let's just check how many we've got. I don't think we've moved the fire gems. 36, so we've got what, 12 steals, 12 items stealed already, 15 now I think. Yeah, we'll go for one more steal and then we'll call it a day. So two more turns with Riku, just to maximise it really, because I've done test runs of this challenge and been through it and only encountered these once. So you've got to make the most of it when you do face them. Now I've just noticed we are below 20 petrify grenades, which is not an issue. It just means we can't customise Stoneproof at the moment. Stoneproof will take 20 petrify grenades. Now, while this is an easy encounter, it's a very, very useful one, because musks can be stolen in abundance from the floating death. So we'll defend with the boys, and ideally we need 3. We could probably do with, well, ideally we only need 1 steal, because, and I'll explain that when we go into the Ultima fight, but these are going to come in clutch against the Ultima battle. Now, this battle isn't essential if you manage to get any musks from the I think it's the Mandragora, or it's basically, yeah, the Mandragora type enemy in the Cenobia Sands. So, I mean, already got a drop there. So if you didn't manage to get any musks there, this is quite an easy battle. I mean, deathproof on an armor around here, it sounds good, but it's probably not that useful. But having deathproof, the 2 free slots are going to be more useful. That just goes to show how good the drops are going to be around here. Again, we need to rack up as many petrify grenades as possible. So we've already got 2 steals there. If it takes them getting 2 steals, I'll just take it out. We'll probably go for 1 more steal, just to see. I don't want this battle to go on too long, but 2 is enough. 2 steals is probably enough, considering how many times we'll be facing these. Ideally, I'd like 3. I mean, we could go left here and get the chests, but in all honesty, I don't think there's much to get from them. Now, I got lucky there, not putting Riku into the front line. If this was a Great Marlborough, this probably would have been a game over. Nonetheless, the Varuna, for all its tricks up its sleeve, it's susceptible to petrification. So a simple petrify grenade takes that straight out. Again, another drop for Riku. Magic defense plus 10. Not really that important round here again, but the 2 free slots may come in useful. Right, so this is the Glyph. Right. Now, this is the encounter which it's one of the encounters I'm most worried about. 2, it's one of the encounters which makes evade encounter on Auron pretty essential. And the reason is because once you've done Shooting Star on the Spirit, always got to make sure we get that off. You'll be in a position where all 3 of your characters may not be able to tank their attacks. If the 2 Halmas take out Kimahri and Wakka, and Auron is obviously delayed because of using his overdrive, that means that you'd get a game over. So you have to use both of your teleport spheres, one on Riku and one on Auron. Here though, you can steal to your heart's content. What we are looking for is some rare drops, because these do have These do have shadow gems as a rare drop. The other thing to note here is this is a perfect example and a very easy way of getting your overdrive back for Auron after using it on an enemy in the same fight. So we'll just continue to steal with Riku, and Auron is just going to be in a position just to take one of the hits so his overdrive goes up. Now it's up to Riku to bring him back. This is another reason why having Stoic is better, and that also comes into effect against the Defender Z fight. So all we need to do again here is use a Petrify Grenade and the battle's over. Always got to check what armor we've got as well. Berserk Proof, that is pretty good. So what we'll do is we're going to swap out Berserk Ward for Berserk Proof for Kimahri. That's an interesting, very good drop, that is. So everyone apart from Auron has got Comrade, and I think Yuna at this point, because I haven't managed to teach her Comrade. But interestingly, it's all about getting that shooting star back into effect. Now, this battle is arguably on par in terms of danger with the Great Malbra, and I'll explain why in a moment.
This is for the fallen!
Auron always badass with his quotes. Now that's why Berserk Ward is absolutely essential in this battle, and it's the reason I keep Kimahri in the front line. Now chances are we still would have got a turn with Wakka had it used a double Berserk on Auron and Kimahri, and had they both had Berserk Ward. There is an instance though where one of them has basically Auron's left, but because he's delayed after using Shooting Star, he's in a position where they take all three characters out, or Berserk 2 and take Auron out. So we bring Riku in and we silence them, and what we're looking for now is to chip away at their health. And then once we've got rid of one of them, we can take them out. We can take one of them out and use the remaining one to get Auron's overdrive back up. So it really is about making sure you manage your turns correctly, and also making sure that you get Auron's overdrive back up and running. Now, because we've already eliminated the spirit, Auron in Berserk at the moment doesn't really matter. But what you can do here, I mean, considering one's going to be dropping its silence status soon, we're going to need Auron out of Berserk. And what we can also do is use some of our not so good items, like our bomb cores, just to get rid of these. Just to get rid of one of them. Now we're in a position where the battle is manageable. I don't think there's anything to lance it off this for Kimahri. No, there isn't. Now, the other good thing about this battle, though, is the rare steal from the Black Element is 4 Shining Gems, which are going to be absolutely incredible against Ultima Weapon. So it's always worth stealing. Ideally, I probably should have stealed from both and then took them out with the items, but chances are we'll encounter this enemy again before we get to Ultima Weapon, so we'll have another opportunity. Now, you see there that the silence is now gone. So, ideally, what we should have done is put Riku into the back line. Nonetheless, that's not the worst outcome. What we are looking for, though, is for Auron to have Flare used on it. So here we'll bring in Tidus because of his agility. So there's that Berserk Ward kicking in there. Not a problem having Berserk on Tidus. This can get very tedious though, because it can spam Berserk again and again and again until you get the flare turn. Perfect. Trouble is, again, because Auron's such a badass, it takes 2 flares to get its health back up, to get its overdrive back up, sorry. Yeah, one of the downfalls. I mean, I don't think we're going to have an issue if 2 of them are left. I don't think we will have an issue. Nonetheless, I'm not actually going to take a chance. So I'll use a Phoenix down on Tidus. Demi just edging Auron's overdrive slightly closer. And there's that Berserk Wall kicking in again. Now we do want to ensure Auron doesn't take out the black element, so... Oh. Right, this is it now. So, bring Riku back in. And what we can do, I think 2 bomb fragments is going to be enough. Oh, it's bomb core we should have used, never mind. I mean, just for safety here, we'll use another silence grenade. That's going to nullify the battle. And get the lads to do some additional damage. Perfect. A bit long, but we set ourselves up for the next fight, which is the most important thing. And we might as well put Auron's health back to normal. Not really essential, but... yeah, just got to make sure his overdrive's there. Right, another interesting encounter this is against the Adamantoise. Now, strangely enough, it's immune to quite very few things. It can be put to sleep, it can be petrified, I think it can even be slowed. The one thing we do want, though, is Healing Waters. That's going to give us the Alchemy ability on a customization. Now, we need 4 Healing Waters, so I would like to encounter this as much as possible. 2 already, which is good. You won't encounter these very often, so it's always best to try and get 3 steals. I am going to use a second sleeping powder here. In the event I've already got enough Healing Waters for alchemy, I'd only probably steal twice. So we'll go for as many steals until it wakes up again now. I'm not using any more sleeping powders on it. Trouble is, the amount of steals we do reduces the chance of us getting a successful steal. And at this point, because we've already got a stamina tablet, we don't want a rare steal. Stamina tablet's the rare steal from the Adamantoise. Well, we're halfway there to having alchemy anyway, which is good. It's going to come in clutch against Ultima Weapon. Defending armlet, it's not as good as what we've got already, but it does come with stone proof, which is good. Doing really well on the chests. Now, Master Tonberry. Few things to talk about here. Susceptible to sleep. Immune, though, to petrification. So you do need to whittle its health down by using shadow gems and other non-elemental damaging items. What we will do, though, although I've just said that, we are going to bring in Lulu just to chip away at its health. And Kimahri's going to use Lancet. Nothing to be taught, but it just takes away the health quickly. It is quite a resource hog. The other thing to call out, though, is it's one of a few... I think it's the only enemy around here that can drop a teleport sphere. So it means we may be able to get early access to that evade encounter. That third evade encounter. Now Lancet and the magic there not waking up the Master Tonberry. So we're already past below the 10k mark, which is great. But it's one of them enemies that we can't really maximise the use of a fire gem. Although right now it might be more... It might be better to probably do so, even though we're only doing half damage. Although half damage, that would be about 1,300. I'd rather not. The other thing you could do at this point is use maybe another shadow gem and then a poison fang, but considering how many we've got, I'm going to just use a couple of smoke bombs here. Smoke bombs are only useful for a couple of enemies around here. One, the Machea. Two, the Halmas, if you do want to do some farming for shadow gems. Not press triangle and Kimahri, shouldn't have done there. So we've put Tonberry back to sleep, and now we're just going to whittle its health down. I don't think I've got an opportunity here to get an overkill. So I'm not really too concerned about the overkill. So Lancet and Fire actually putting Tonberry within range of a smoke bomb here. Should be able to take it out. Perfect. We didn't get a return sphere, but we did get a drop for Whacker, so let's check that out. Slow strike, 3 free slots. That is some legit good drop. That is a legit good drop. I was going to make sure the team is set up. Yeah, and we take a left towards the teleport sphere. So it's the Glyph that will be able to open up the pathway to the teleport sphere. Right, I'm banking on this giving us 3 drops here from a steal. So there's 2. We'll go a couple of times because arguably I could do with having more than what we've got. So there's 3, that's perfect. I mean, I could chance for a 4th, but that'll take too long. So we are edging further and further up. I do like to keep 10 in reserve. Now, ideally, I mean, because we've already got some musks, how many have we got? Oh, we can't use them. I think we've got about 9 or 10 already. So, because of that, this fight really becomes null and void. We can just take them out with a petrify grenade. Another Soltage. Is that another death proof for Riku? Yep. Nice drop. Now, easiest thing to do here with the Macheas is... I don't think you can put them to sleep, but you can smoke bomb them. But the easiest thing to do is to petrify them. Just takes them out really quickly. They don't really have a lot to steal. A Silvertage and a Devastator. Right, let's check those out. Not really too concerned about changing Riku's weapon at this point. No. And what else do we get? I think we got a Taj as well. Yep, Silvertage, 10%. That's not really a good drop. Doesn't matter though. It's more about the steals at this point. So, what this glyph will allow us to do is to touch the other glyph, what we've just been to, and then make our way up to the path opposite the other glyph. And that gives us access then to a teleport sphere.